Right. I'm sure you all know what this means now. Yes, I am off to another reenactment. This one is called Temple at War. It is at Cressing Temple Barns. And I've never been to the event before, so I have no idea what to expect. All I know is that there's a battle at 12 o'clock. So I will try and get some footage for that. And I will be displaying with the 502nd Pathfinders for all of today, which is just the Sunday. Saturday was yesterday, which unfortunately I missed. But yes, other than that, I hope you enjoy the video. So this is our Pathfinder Display. The group we reenact is the Pathfinders of the 502nd Parachute Infantry Regiment. What the Pathfinders did was they jumped into Normandy before the main force of paratroopers, and they set up the drop zones so that the C-47s carrying the main load of paratroopers would know where to drop them. So here's a small display of the Pathfinder items. Here is a PPN-1 Eureka beacon that basically transmits an electronic signal via like a radar, and there's a receptor in the lead aircraft of each formation carrying the paratroopers called a Rebecca receptor, and that would receive the signals from the Eureka beacon, and that would help the pilots to hone on the frequency so they can find where the drop zone is. The Pathfinders do a night mission like normal. These lights here, these are Hall of Fame lamps. Each drop zone was coded, they had a different colour. So the code was green for drop zone A, red for drop zone C, and yellowy orange for drop zone D. Now, for the actual Pathfinders on D-Day, they set up 7 of these lamps in a T shape, like this. So how it works is, the aircraft will be flying this way, they set up the T like that, so the aircraft come along above, and then when they get to the crossbar of the T, that's when they drop their first paratrooper. Now, these lights would have been off because they glow quite bright. However, as the once they can hear the aircraft approaching, they will turn all the lights on, and they will light up the field pretty much. And that's how the aircraft will know where to drop the paratroopers. For daytime operations, they would have used coloured panels, which would be laid out in the same manner as the lights, and they did the same job pretty much. And these are little marker lamps that are used for glider landing zones, so for where the glider aircraft come in. A small aid station in the field. So here, some of the items. That's the bed where we treat the wounded soldiers. At the moment we've got this guy who was wounded by an artillery shell burst or something, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it. Now, some medical items here, some of the stuff the medics would have carried in their pouches. Some items like bandages, which is the standard, the essential. You get a Carlisle bandage, which is the same sort of bandage that you find inside these tins. Now, inside one of these boxes, you will get one of these Carlisle bandages. It's got a thick pad in the middle, and it's got these strings that come off there, and that's for you to tie around the body part that's been wounded. So, you have those. You carry a box of sulfur powder, so sulfanilamide. Inside of those would have been 5 of these little sulfur powder packets. What happens is you will tear the end off, and then it's basically just a sachet on the inside, and it's white powder, which is crystalline sulfanilamide. You would sprinkle that over the wound, before applying your bandage over the wound that would stop infections. These wound tablets did the same job as that. Inside of these would have been a small box containing 8 tablets. You would take those together with lots of water. However, you're not allowed to take them if you've been wounded in the throat or in the stomach, because you can't drink water. Some items for pain relief, so syringes of morphine, which would have come in these boxes here. Inside would be these dividers. There'd be 5 syringes inside a box. Oops. How it works is there'd be a needle inside and a triangular piece of wire inside the needle. You would push that triangular piece end bit in. That would break the seal at the bottom, then you pull the wire out and discard it. Use the needle. You find a bit of flesh that can be easily exposed, either the upper arm, the stomach, or the thigh, and then you would take the cap off and you would carefully place the needle in at least half of the needle's length, then squeeze out the contents, and that will relieve the person's pain. First aid tins, different types of these, metal ones, these are experimental plastic ones. Inside of these would have been one of these things and one of these things. I've already explained the use of the sulfur powder, and then this is a compressed Carlisle bandage with the paper wrapped around it. So like I said, inside that you'll find this kind of bandage, and then unroll it and you get this. Safety pins, a tourniquet to cut off the blood flow if the person's losing too much blood, bandage scissors, gauze bandages for smaller wounds. Inside would be a plain gauze bandage such as this. Halazone tablets for water purification. And yeah, that's about it. And then in this aid station display we've also got medical crates, a medical chest there, and various other items, more gauze bandages, stuff lying around here. And if someone was wounded, we could come in, all these boxes are already open and stuff's lying around, so it's easy to get to. That's where we put our used bandages after they've been used. So they get put in there, then we clean them up in there. Yeah, that is pretty much our medical display. Now, here is our group's Women's Army Corps display and Women's Auxiliary Army Corps display. There are some interesting items here. Earlier in the morning I was helping one of them do some research on what you're about to see.
So we've got 3 lots of dresses. This is like a new uniform, a dress uniform, which is mine. That one there is an original 1942, and that is a original one as well. Now the middle one, this here and all these medals belong to this lady here, yeah, and her name is Bessie Dunning. Now she was in the corps. We have lots of her paper. We've got all her paperwork, and we discovered today on here, right? Do you know? Have you seen the film about the Black Women's Corps? They made a film about it recently, where the regiment came over and had to do all the mail. Well, there they are, all the way down there. Can you see them from there? an official US Army. Right, and there's that, and then this one is, she's a 3rd officer, Bessie Bunning, December 1942. And then, so obviously they're all her medals. This is her tie, and this is her cap, right? So that's the 1941. Now that's my tie, and that's my cap. Look at the difference. So we're just trying to get it together, see how we get on. I'm going to turn it round because it's got a little bit of info on there. So this is all original stuff.
Now I will show you parts of the battle. First couple of videos are just us getting ready for the battle with our small mortar crew. The plan was basically a German armoured car vehicle would come and drive around, we'd shoot at it, it would shoot back, and then we'd attack the Germans and win.
Sure, yeah, monsieur! Over that way. There. That's got there, yeah.
Now here are some photographs from both during the battle and around camp. Here's two of us dragging one of our wounded soldiers away. That's us with the wall. That's a small medical display. That's just random photographs. And we were also visited by a Spitfire.